A great question can open up a totally new world of awareness, insight, and possibility. Welcome to the Drew Coaching Podcast. This is Season 2, Episode 10, Powerful Questions. And this week we're focused on asking great questions to unearth possibility. Drew Coaching raises up leaders who shape the future. My name is Eric Drew, and as a leadership development coach, I am all in for you to grow your leadership and impact. The podcast is a weekly boost so that you learn and take a skill with you to practice all week in 10 minutes or less. This season, we're focusing on growing the leadership of others through teaching, mentoring, and coaching. If you're new to our community, welcome. I'm grateful that you're investing in your leadership by spending time with us. I want to invite you to share, and then I'd really appreciate if you would leave a rating and a review. This helps us to grow our community and raise the leadership of those around us. I want to remind folks that you can find all of this content, including the questions for reflection and practical application, in the show notes at drewcoaching.online. I also share daily on Instagram and TikTok to encourage all of us to practice and to grow our leadership throughout the week, every week. So this is our second week on coaching skills. If you missed last week, I encourage you to go back and listen. Last week, I unpacked that to grow your coaching skills, you have to view others as their own expert. We can't just tell other people what to do. I encouraged you to ask 2 or 3 questions before jumping in to give directions or provide all the answers. This week, we're going to dig deeper into asking powerful questions. I want you to focus on asking great questions to unearth possibility. Have you ever been asked a question that stopped you in your tracks? One single powerful question has the ability to open a perspective or point of view that we could not have thought of on our own. One of my coaching mentors likes to say that powerful questions can lift the blinds up just a little bit so that others see the room in a different light. Powerful questions can challenge our assumptions. They can help us to look deep within ourselves. They can unearth possibilities we hadn't dreamed of. Asking powerful questions is an art form that we develop over years of practice. But to get started, let me share some tips and tricks to ask more powerful questions. First, ask questions for the person that you're coaching. A great coach doesn't actually need a ton of information and background into the person or the situation they're coaching about. I mean, this can be helpful, but I find that the more I know about the person, their project, and the situation, actually the more I tend to tell them what to do instead of coaching them. Don't ask questions so that you understand where they are better. Ask questions that help the person you're coaching explore the situation more deeply. This first one is a coaching superpower. Don't ask questions for you. Ask questions for them. Second, I want you to ask questions that use their words. If they're talking about feeling like they're on a runaway train, ask about the conductor. Where are the rails taking you? Where is your seat on the train? If they feel like they keep hitting up against a wall, ask about the height, texture, the width, or if they have any tools to scale the wall. Metaphor is a powerful tool in coaching, but use their metaphor. Help them to explore it more deeply or from a different perspective. Use their words in your questions. Finally, I want you to ask open-ended questions and leave plenty of time for processing. Yes/no questions often kill the conversation and the ability to process. But if you can ask an open-ended question, that creates further exploration. Rather than, did that make you frustrated? You could ask, what did that frustration feel like? Asking a yes/no question lets the person you're coaching off easy. Word it in a way that they explore the topic more deeply. And while we're talking about open-ended questions, a few related tips are, first, don't get stuck in either/or thinking. Look for a third possibility. When we get stuck thinking something must be done one way or the other way, some third way can almost always emerge and is usually better. I've found that by exploring a third option, it's a better decision even if they choose one of the first two that they had. Finally, when it comes to open-ended questions and third options, my favorite coaching advice ever that I received from my coaching mentor is to let the silence do the heavy lifting. We all have a tendency to jump in and say something when there's silence. Before you do that, give the person you're with the time to process and think deeply. Unless you can tell they've already moved on and something needs to fill the space, give them the time to process and work through it. Let the silence do the heavy lifting. There's so much to explore when it comes to asking powerful questions. What I want you to know is this. A great question is one of the best tools we have to open possibilities and growth. So remember to ask questions for them, not just for you. Use their words and their metaphor. Ask open-ended questions. Don't get stuck in either-or thinking. And let the silence do the heavy lifting. As you work on this week, I'm going to give you a few application questions and actions to grow in your ability to ask powerful questions that unearth possibility. First, I want you to notice and count the number of times you ask questions for your knowledge and the number of times you ask questions for their exploration. Improve this ratio so that you ask a lot more questions for others than for yourself. I also want you to notice your listening ability. Listen deeply and ask questions using their words. Finally, how does silence in a coaching conversation make you feel? I want you to get more comfortable and not fill every space. I've said it earlier this season, and I'll say it again. While teaching and mentoring are important practices to help others grow, the best growth comes through coaching. The best coaches can bring significant growth and change through just one single powerful question. All these tips and tricks and questions are in the show notes. Please check them out at drewcoaching.online. I'll be on TikTok and Instagram this week sharing a little bit more. And I'm rooting for you. By asking great questions, you're going to have a great impact on those around you. Hey, you're a leader. You're a creative. The world needs your voice. This week, practice asking great questions. Raise up others, bring hope to life. We're in this together.